students, in our last lecture we have studied about effect of temperature. Okay, effect of temperature in the conversion of states. The second factor which we are going to study today is effect of pressure for the conversion of state. Okay, now you will learn about this. This is this. If I apply pressure on it, if you apply pressure, what will happen? This piston will move downwards. Let's see. Now gas molecule, you can see here in this diagram, gas molecules are very far from each other. But in this case, now gas molecules come close to each other. In the third, on keep applying pressure from the outside, now you can see that particles are now very close to each other. They are as much close to each other as they are in liquid state. So now we can say that after applying pressure, gas molecules or gases can be converted into liquid. This pressure may be very high, means it is not very easy to compress a gas. And one more thing we have to remember, that along with increasing pressure, we have to decrease temperature. Decrease temperature. If you decrease temperature, then the kinetic energy of molecule decreases. On decreasing temperature, kinetic energy of the molecules, of gas molecule, will decrease. After this, if you apply pressure, then a gas can be conveniently converted into liquid. You can understand here, and you can note down from the image shown to you. Student, you have heard about CNG and LPG gas. What is the full form of CNG? Compressed natural gas. What is natural gas? Methane. Compressed means pressurized. Means we have applied pressure, so it is called compressed. Which gas is compressed? Natural gas, means methane gas. So when methane gas is pressurized, it is called compressed natural gas. What about LPG? Liquefied petroleum gas. LPG is also same like this. Liquefied means this gas is liquefied, or this gas is converted into liquid state. It is also under pressure. Okay, when high pressure is applied, different type of petroleum gases are compressed. So after applying pressure, you can see that large volume of gases can be stored in a small container. So, and I hope you understood. On applying pressure, you can see that large volume of gases. There is one example, that CO2 gas, carbon dioxide gas. This is the gas. When pressure is applied, it gets converted into CO2 solid directly. Means CO2 gas does not undergo in the liquid state. It directly get converted into solid state. This solid CO2 is also known as dry ice. So in your book there may be a question, what is the formula of dry ice, or what do you understand by dry ice? Dry ice means solid CO2 gas. Dry ice is also an example. Dry ice is also an example of sublimate. Means dry ice get converted directly into gas. If I release pressure, if you release pressure, dry ice means solid state. Dry ice is in solid state. If you release pressure, release means if you remove pressure, then dry ice get directly converted into CO2 gas. So here you can see the conversion of solid directly into gas. So this phenomena or this process is called sublimation. Conversion of solid into gas is called sublimation. So dry ice is an example of a sublimate, like naphthalene, like iodine, like ammonium chloride, which you have studied earlier. Our next topic is sublimation. This one I explained it to you already. Now I am writing the definition of sublimation. So the conversion of a solid directly into its gas phase is called sublimation. Means when solid get converted into its gases or vapors, this process is called sublimation. Those substances which undergo sublimation are called sublimate. Those substances which undergo sublimation are called sublimate. For example, the examples of sublimates: iodine, solid iodine, ammonium chloride, camphor, etc. There are some other examples also, but these three are enough for you. You can note down the definition and everything for sublimation, or you can note down from the image shown to you. the conversion of a liquid into its vapor at any temperature below its boiling point is called evaporation. For example, what is the boiling point of water? The boiling point of water is 100 degree centigrade. Okay? At 100 degree centigrade, water gets converted into its vapor. This I explained to you already. The boiling point of water is 100 degree centigrade. Means at 100 degree centigrade, liquid water gets converted into its vapor. So this 100 degree centigrade is called boiling point of water. Below this temperature, means below this temperature, water get converted into vapor also. So this process of conversion of liquid water into its vapor below its melting point, boiling point, is called evaporation. Next topic is factor affecting evaporation. It means what are the factors which affects the rate of evaporation, means increases or decreases. The first factor is temperature. If temperature increases, definitely the rate of evaporation also increases. Number 2, wind speed. Rate of evaporation also increases with wind speed. Pause the video and note down, or you can note down from the image. Surface area. Surface area. Evaporation increases. Evaporation increases on increasing surface area. If I take half liter water in this container, or if I take water this is also half liter water and it is also half liter water. The surface area of this container is low or less, and the surface area is high in this case. Do you understand my point? The amount of water is same. The difference is in surface area. Here surface area is less and here surface area is high. Let me tell you that evaporation is a surface phenomena. What is the meaning of this? Surface phenomena means the water molecule present on the surface, they get heat from the top side. They get heat from the top side. That's why it is called, evaporation is called a surface phenomena. If surface is large, then the evaporation will be fast. If surface is less, then the evaporation is also less, because less number of water molecule gets heat. Here many molecules are in direct contact with heat. On the other hand, boiling. If you take a beaker, fill it with water, and then you start heating it, then water start boiling. Boiling is a bulk phenomenon. This complete is called bulk. This complete is called bulk, and this top is called surface. This top is called surface. When heating is at only surface, then it is called evaporation, and evaporation is called a surface phenomenon. Whereas boiling is a bulk phenomenon, because when you boil a liquid, you give heat or you provide heat from its bottom. From the bottom, these water molecules get heat faster. These water molecules get heat faster. Due to this, the temperature of these water molecules increases and they become or they convert into vapors. So you can see these vapors in the form of bubbles. When boiling starts, you can see that bubbles of water vapor moves from bottom to top. When they hit other particles or other water molecules, the other water molecules also get heated, and in this way the bulk of this liquid get heated. This process is called boiling. This thing never happens in evaporation. Evaporation is a surface phenomenon, means heat is provided from the top, and this top water molecule get converted into vapor. Next topic is evaporation causes cooling. Suppose an object, if you give heat, after getting this heat, this object becomes hot. Okay? If you give heat, this object becomes hot, and the temperature of this object get increases. Now, if you take out heat from any object, it will become cool. It will become cool, and its temperature will get decreased. Okay? When a liquid get heat from surrounding, it gets evaporated. So evaporation causes absorption of heat from the surrounding. When we sweat in summer, our body becomes cool due to evaporation. For example, this is our body. Okay, now our body sweats. So assume these are sweats. These are sweat molecules. Our body is hot due to the temperature of our body. These sweat molecules get heated and they get evaporated. So In the process of evaporation, this sweat molecule absorb heat from the body. So heat is coming out from the body. That's why our body becomes cool. I already explained to you, if you take out heat from any body or any object, then it becomes cool. So here the sweat molecule absorb heat. So they absorb heat. Due to absorption of heat, the temperature of our body decreases, and on decreasing temperature, due to decrease in temperature, our body becomes cool. Okay. So this is the finish. This is the end of this lecture. You can note down from the image.